What's up guys, I'm LightningBolt. After my last tips, tricks, and training video, TheNextAce came to me with an idea for another video. He asked if we could do a series of 1v1s and see if I could make a training video out of those. I gladly accepted and we started the filming. Now, I usually fly almost exclusively in realistic mode in the game since it provides a better and more realistic competition, such as flight in only the cockpit. Ace prefers to fly historic, which is also fine, and that is why we're doing it in that mode for this video. The tips apply to both modes, though in historic it is much easier to get the kills in my opinion. After the filming, I got 103 minutes of footage saved, not to mention that which I deleted. What you'll see in this video is a very condensed form of everything we got. Now, in order to keep the attention of the viewer, most often you only see portions of a dogfight. Many of these dogfights took a long time to complete, since I would most often continue my boom and zoom tactics, while Ace maneuvered down below. In this video, you will see first of all our Ki-61 versus P-40C matchup, then one video of the Spitfire and 109F matchup, then lastly a Yak-1 versus various German aircraft. The next three clips are of me using the boom and zoom tactics, or B and Z for short. The typical rules of B and Z starts with a dive from high altitude on the enemy, the boom part, and then a climb back to altitude using the speed you just gained in the dive to get back up, the zoom part. There are no long series of steps you have to follow. You can alter between the two different styles, but you can take an aggressive or a non-aggressive style. Aggressive style starts with the dive down, and before coming back up too far, you roll over and dive down again. This gives the enemy less time to recover, but you also lose the safety of altitude. A less aggressive style involves more patience, which is typically the style that I used against Ace in these videos. In these videos, Ace uses a series of turns to throw off my aim. Because of that, I have to maneuver while diving, so you'll want to be prepared for something like that. Also, never cut throttle completely when diving. This is so that you have enough speed to go back up after you complete the dive. I wanted to show a quick clip of what not to do. Never pull up if an enemy is very close behind you or has more speed, as that is almost always certain death. Now, I personally love scissors fights. That is what I purposefully got myself into here. Now, the Ki-61 and the regular P-40 are an excellent matchup, as they both perform similarly in this area. This is actually a P-40C I am fighting here, which turns better than the regular P-40 and my plane. If Ace wouldn't have stalled out in this fight, I probably wouldn't have survived. There was one other scissors fight I filmed in which I was in his situation. I almost forced him to overshoot, but then we ended up ramming. For the sake of time, I didn't show that here. I will say though, you usually don't want to scissors with a P-40C. After a while, I got bored of being Zing all the time. I figured I would switch it up a bit and try turning with him. I quickly remembered why that wasn't what you do against a P-40C. My attempts at an overshoot didn't work either, as the P-40C was going too slow for it to work. I figured I would include this in the video since I show Ace getting shot down so many times by myself. As I mentioned before, I got bored of being the person doing the B and Z all the time. I decided I would switch it up and stay low until he dove on me. After his initial pass, you will see that I rose to greet him. After that pass, I knew I wouldn't have the speed to try and turn on him, so I used my advantage of more speed than him to extend away. I did that for a while, as you will see. I chose to show most of the footage from this fight so that way you can see the tactics and strategies that are used most of the way through. Now that I've extended for a while and I see that he is sufficiently far enough behind me, I will turn around to continue the fight. After that point, I was basically just trying to land the shots. There were times that the safer thing would have been to extend, but he probably would have been too close behind me for it to be actually safe. I would say skillful maneuvering on the throttle helped a lot in this portion. By the very end here, I did actually decide to extend away, but there wasn't too much need of that at this point. In this one, I also started low. I played it risky by climbing after him, which is why I need to extend right away afterwards. After I saw that he wasn't going to follow me down, I decided to pull a surprise move and climb back up after him. He didn't see me until he had too little energy and it was too late. That is why you always want to watch your surroundings at all times. My observation got me the kill, and his accident cost him a wing. We begin here by viewing me attempting a chandelle. In truth, this is a very bad representation of one. A proper chandelle is a slow, gentle climb and turn to keep yourself at a good energy rate and reduce the enemy speed, so that you can dive down on them from the top and kill the stalling plane underneath you. The opposite almost happened here. I ended up stalling and Ace almost got the kill. What saved me was forcing a successful overshoot. I cut my engine completely, which he didn't realize. After dodging his shots, I latched onto him and finished the business. Since this is the last Ki-61 vs P-40C video, I will review what we have learned so far. For the Ki-61, safety and success mainly exists in B and Z. There are other ways that are possible, but then you would have to extend and fire when able, which runs greater risks than a B and Z approach. For the P-40C, much like what I outlined in my previous video, is the same here. His advantage is in eliminating the advantage of his opponent, and in attempting to get in a turn fight with the enemy where he is better. Also, never pull up in front of your enemy when they are close behind, and always keep an eye on where they are. I include one 109F vs Spitfire video here so you can see how well Ace maneuvers to throw off my aim and how much I had to correct it. This was the only good one I had filmed, and you will see that it didn't end the best. As soon as I saw him flip upside down during my dive, my heart sank completely. These next two fights are of me and my 109F against his Yak 1. Much like the previous videos, I just ended up being Zing mostly. I will just let you watch them play through, as most of the previously mentioned dogfighting tactics work here as well. Once again, I got bored from B and Z, and decided to test whether or not I could turn better than the Yak. After finding out I could not, I had to extend away, and then pull a very aggressive chandelle to try and get on his 6. Then commence a series of maneuvers to try and get behind him. I decided to save time and just cut to the best part at the end. Because I love to experiment, I decided to hop in the 19E and see how well I could do. Based on this video, I would say not too bad. After I saw him flip over at the end though, I knew there was no coming back for him. I will say though, he did shoot me down once in the 19E, so a good job for him, although I didn't include that in this video just for the sake of time. Now I'm sure some of you are wondering why I chose to hop on a stupid dive bomber to dogfight the Yak. The simple answer would be, for fun, and also to surprise him. It got the reaction I wanted. He first was worried that I was going to pull out a really good plane, but when he saw I was only in the Stuka, he relaxed more. He quickly found out though that this slow plane is a beast in a turn fight though. We did try filming more of these in which I might actually get a kill, but I just maneuvered so much at low altitude that he would stall out and crash, much like he did in this one. This is the last dogfight for this video. I want to give a big thanks to Ace for helping me film this and giving me the original idea for it. I hope that all of you viewers could learn something too, and if you already knew it, that you could benefit from seeing it in action. I'm LightningBolt, and thank you for watching.